Chairman Mulvaney, Commissioners, thank you for the privilege to speak in front of you. I'm Dr. Robin Van Tine, 105 Cannon Drive, Newport, Virginia. I'm a professor of environmental studies and human ecology. I hold a PhD from Virginia Institute of Marine Sciences. I'm the past chair of the Newport Environmental Commission. The draft comprehensive plan is admirable in many of its goals, including a focus on adding green space and increasing public access to the water. As it said on the slide, go greener. We're a coastal city on Virginia's peninsula. 17 miles of coast on the beautiful James River estuary and the Warwick River estuary. We are unique. We are Virginia's river city. Let's rebrand ourselves as Virginia's river city. So I'm confused. Since the draft comprehensive plan extols environmental values and pledges to increase public access to the water and to increase green space, why is the city farm suddenly designated understudy? That contradicts the strong emphasis in the document on public green space and water access. Let's conserve our waterfront, the city farm. The old city prison farm property, which is part of the property known as Riverview Farm Park, has long been promised to the people of Newport News in several versions of the previous comprehensive plan, the framework for the future, and before by several city councils. For almost half a century, it has been promised to the people of Newport News as a park. Why is this beautiful green waterfront property, the last undeveloped waterfront property in Newport News, suddenly understudy? Understudy for a while. It's a park. This is an amazing 58 acres with Deep Creek on one side, the James and Warwick Rivers on the other side. It is ecologically and historically significant. It has been zoned parkland for many decades. How did it get designated understudy and why? While I was watching the presentation, several things came to me. Did you include in the implementation of legacy plans from the framework, including City Farm as an integral part of Riverview Farm Park? Sustainable city. How about ecological sustainability by preserving 60 acres on the river? Respecting our uniqueness as a river city. The park could be a beautiful, unique park that emphasizes our uniqueness as a river city. Good places and new spaces. City Farm is a really good place. Let's keep it for the people. In your vision section, environmental responsibility. Well, let's be environmentally responsible to keep City Farm part of Riverview Farm Park. Re-imaging and rebranding Newport News as a green city with a beautiful waterfront park. Riverview Farm Park with City Farm property. A few more comments. The historic, ecologically important waterfront green space known as the City Farm should remain part of Riverview. Riverview, the name of the park. Are we going to change the name of the park to something else? It's Riverview Farm Park. The farm park was already destroyed when the barn was taken down. It was previously planned and promised to the people of Newport News. There's nothing to study regarding whether or not to keep its own park and whether or not to keep it part of Riverview Farm Park. Studies have been done for decades by the people. Why would the city consider taking away the people's riverfront city farm when the draft comprehensive plan pledges to increase both water access and green space? There's only one conclusion. Someone is considering commercial development on this valuable property. That is not what the people of Newport News want or deserve. Please remove all references to making the city farm understudy from the document and add a statement that the city farm will remain zone park to provide a sorely needed additional 58 acres of waterfront green space for the people of Newport News. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Tine.